Hey guys, welcome back to another Sunday night show, also known as talking about stocks and drinking milk with Frugal Tiger. Good for the bones, good for the liver, and let's get started. So what I want to talk about this week is what's called tax loss rebuys. And what do I mean by this? Typically at the end of every year, investors and traders oftentimes sell large losing positions in various stocks that have not been performing. So the bleed out of these stocks continues, and if not gets worsened from November through December. And what this oftentimes does is it opens a door where the valuation is actually pretty low and the risk reward ratios allow you to buy in at a lower risk point. A lot of the reasons this is done is A, it's beneficial for the investor to take the tax loss. They can deduct the loss on that stock against other income that they have, other investments that have made a lot of money for them. And in doing so, they're not left with a huge tax bill. So this week, what I'm going to talk about are what I think could be, not all of them are going to work this way, could be opportunities for you to pick up very beat up stocks as investors have dumped them for tax purposes. The first one, and most importantly, is TLRY. This is not because Frugal Tiger is upside down 90K on TLRY. I actually think marijuana at these prices are a good risk to reward ratio. Now, if you don't want TLRY directly, you can buy MSOS, which is like an ETF, diversified against the marijuana industry. And I think with potential US legalization coming, this is a 5x to 10x return, in my opinion. And I'm not an investment advisor, and you guys see I'm wrong all the time. I think it's worth taking a look into. TLRY, if you don't want to buy TLRY directly, MSOS. TLRY is making a lot of good investments, you guys, picking up other companies and other types of products. I think at $7, it's a bargain, and although I'm upside down over 80,000 now, probably close to 90, I am going to actually increase my bet in TLRY at this point. You know, it's a part of the business, sometimes losing money on some names. I'm going to be buying some TLRY at this price at $7 and change. The next one I want to talk about, keep in mind, once again, these are the two names I'm very biased on. Palantir, I think we saw a bleed out from 26. Palantir, I really do feel like is a good name. It's had a little bit of a bleed out. I don't want to talk about it too much. I talk about it too much on our Sunday videos already, but it's another name I'm watching. I'm very curious to see how AMC plays out. AMC has had a massive bleed out from like $48 a share, basically getting cut in half. I had a very lucrative trade on AMC a few weeks ago, making me quite a bit of money. It was one of my most profitable trades of the year, buying it around 21 in considerable size and riding it. But it's also important to realize, I think shorts have been covering these pops, meaning the essential short position on AMC. Everyone was hoping for, you know, a massive squeeze and a pop to like 10,000. I don't know where WSB gets some of these numbers. That's not gonna happen, you guys, all right? I mean, obviously I've been caught off guard before. I'm very curious to see how AMC handles this, because I know that there are probably a lot of people that have bought AMC around 70 that have decided to just take the loss at the end of the year. I'm curious to see this. It's not on my most watched play. I think a lot of the action could be dead, but I'm definitely watching the charts. Last one that I repeat on the vlog is NEO. It's at $31 a share, you guys. It had a bleed out from 60, essentially cut in half. NEO has grown as a company though, and I'm very curious to see how the stock performs in the early part of January, as many people start to buy back some of these positions that are essentially at this point are very oversold on the technicals. So I'm very curious about NEO as well. Okay, now let's go into some names I don't talk about as frequently. ROKU. ROKU has been beat up from $440 a share. Its valuation basically cut in half. I don't study valuations. I can't sit here and be like, oh, it's a very undervalued, overvalued stock. And honestly, a lot of the analysis on undervalued, overvalued is bullshit and it's subjective. the market oftentimes rewards growth over potential like valuations. What I mean by that is, does the stock have potential to keep growing, or are customers now saturated? So Roku, I think just on technicals alone, might be worth a small buy here. It's been pretty beat up. It's a growthier name. And I think the market right now still likes growth. In a bull market, growth names tend to work well. Moderna is the next one on my list. Ticker symbol MRNA. I personally had mentioned a while back, it was around 220, 230, where it may have been worth buying the dip on Moderna stock. And we're going to continue to see, because it was at $400 a share a while back. We're going to see if the technicals still favor Moderna here, or what's going to be happening here. Beyond, ticker symbol BYND, went from like $250 a share. It's at like, what, $60 a share now? Potentially look at various people maybe repositioning themselves into January, thinking that Beyond might be worth a buy right now. BABA, I think I'm going to be buying BABA here. I bought about 100 shares already, or 200 shares, which is a very small starter position, but I might start adding to BABA. I know Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have been buying through Berkshire. BABA stock, remember it's an ADR, so ADRs do have some of those ADR related risks I mentioned in some of my other videos. And the other name I'm very curious about, I never understood Peloton. You guys remember me cursing about Peloton, the valuation or whatever. And I don't think it's right for me to understand valuation. This market is a trader's market right now. And it's a growth name that people like to trade. And who am I to say you know, it's overvalued or not? It was at $140 a share a while back. I did a trading video on Peloton maybe a year and a half ago now. It's been a long time. But Peloton has been beat up. It has been beat up. And I'm very curious to see, you know, if I don't really expect the bleed out to continue. I think more likely there's going to be a January buyback. Another name I want to talk about is Shake Shack. It's had a bit of a bleed out. It's not nearly as much as some of the other names, but SHAK might actually be worth looking into at 70 bucks a share here. So it's a food name that people like to pay for. Like, I'll be the first to say it's an overpriced burger, but it's a fucking delicious overpriced burger, okay? So that's why $70 a share, I don't really know. It's had a 30% bleed out already. Should we take it here? Let's just watch the tape and see, okay? PENN.DKNG, where both two gambling names have been hit really hard in this last year. So I'm very curious to see what DKNG or Penn stock does. I'm actually going to take a little bit of exposure in both names for sure. Gaming is very important. And speaking of gaming, let's look at Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. This is probably one of my stronger buys for 2021. If there's one thing that I am, you know, with all the names so far, I'm probably going to put a little bit of money into it as long as the tape action is pointing upwards through January. I'm going to watch these for the first 2 weeks in January and see how the tape action is doing, and obviously adding size if the trade starts working. But ATVI, I'm willing to hold the bag on, just the same way I held the bag on TLRY and Palantir. So be cognizant, you guys. Those were two huge losing trades for me last year. So Blizzard, I think at this price is a good buy. They have a very robust ecosystem and a robust business. So anyway, continuing, Teladoc, ticker symbol TDOC. I'm probably, you know, it's had a heavy bleed out this year. I'm looking to see what happens in January's action. NNDM, Nano Dimension. I had a viewer of the vlog ask me what I thought about it at 6. I had recommended waiting for the action to break above a certain price convincingly before buying this stock because it's speculative. I think at this price at $3.80, maybe pick up 500 shares. It won't cost you that much, maybe $2,000, but I have to be careful because I know not everyone's in the same financial situation as me. Not everyone is willing to gamble their day trading gains on some stupid stocks that could go either way. You know, I've been plowing my day trading gains into Palantir and hasn't been working out that well for me. But if you want, take some small size in NNDM. You know, at this price, it's a very speculative move, but I think the risk rewards ratio, if they do become successful, it's probably worth it. I think they dropped from $60 a share to like $3.80. Corsair is the next one on my list, ticker symbol CRSR. I'm running through these as fast as I can, you guys. I'm not gonna make a 40-minute video, okay? I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes, and I'm having one of those days. I can't word things well. So Corsair is another stock I'm also watching. Had a heavy bleed out towards the last month, and that's actually kind of what I like. The fact that it actually bled out into January. I think these types of names are, although they're speculative, I think at $21 a share, it's a pretty good time to buy. So the next two plays are the two social media plays that I think fall into the category we're talking about, tax loss rebuys, where the names just essentially bled out and didn't really catch a bounce throughout November, December. Twitter is on my list at 43 bucks a share. I'm probably gonna be picking up some Twitter. I actually sold a bunch of Twitter at 70, so I feel comfortable picking it up at this price. I don't see it bleeding out the way Space did, which is basically just a downward trajectory to like the low teens. And then Pinterest, ticker symbol PINS. So yeah, that's it for the social media plays, big tech company plays. Lastly, I want to go into the very speculative category. So this is a very speculative area. I probably would not be putting insane volumes of cash to any one of these names as they are very speculative, okay? So we're gonna start with Space at $13.80. There is no uptrend in sight. Some people might wanna buy the uptrend in Space, but it's very, Jesse Livermore himself said this, it's very hard to watch it's very hard to watch many versus watching a few. So if you want to trade Space, and you can't watch so many tickers, you have to work or whatever. $13.80, maybe going with very small size. I feel the same way about QuantumScape, ticker symbol QS. There's potential here with QuantumScape, but with no uptrend in sight and a very speculative name, you have to be very careful, okay? American Well, it's $6 a share. And this is a name I've been out of. I used to day trade this a lot, but it's been a straight bleed out to $6 a share. It's once again a speculative name. They're competing with TeleDoc, which seems to be the market favorite. But it seems like this online medicine has a lot of competition right now. There seems to be a new type of medication type online company coming out all the time. So it's a very speculative name in my opinion. AMWL, there's no uptrend in sight right now. But if you want to purchase a few shares, I don't really know which way it's going to go. It's very beat up, but it could continue to be beat up. I'm hoping it's acquired, which is why I purchased 1,000 shares. Very small position, you guys. Lastly, Skills. Very speculative name. There are a lot of people calling for Skills to go to zero. Ticker symbol SKLZ, $7 a share. I remember there was a time I was trading this name around $20 a share. And when I say trading, I never really held an overnight position in Skills, but I held, I was trading because it had a lot of action at one point. So the last few things I want to talk about are like genomics names. There's two that have been very beat up, ticker symbol EDIT, and CRISPR, ticker symbol CRSP. These have the potential to go up really rapidly, but there's no uptrend in sight right now. And I think if you do decide to buy these with small amounts of capital. I'm talking less than 1%. Just be cognizant that these could be down for a long time before they ever move up. I heard these names through Kathy Woods, who profusely believes in the genomic space, but Kathy Woods tends to buy stocks at insane valuations. She bought Skills at like 22, it's at $7 a share. She bought Nano Dimension at like $8 a share. It's at $3.80 a share. So just be cognizant. No one's God in this market. No one knows anything. But you know, if you were to invest in the genomic space, CRISPR, CRSP, I would buy it in very, very small size. It has an enormous bleed out, and the other genomics name, EDIT, the two tickers I'm watching in that space. There's also PACB, you can look at that one as well. But at this point in time, I've been talking about way too much tickers. There's way too much action going on. And I'm very curious to see how January plays out. Do these names get rebought? What's gonna happen with the market? And yeah, let's just wait and see. These are the names that I'm watching for a potential tax loss rebuy. All the people who sold between November and December thinking that, hey, I'll just take the loss on some of these names. Do they choose to rebuy them now that they've are able to take the tax loss and also maybe get back in at good prices? For all the names that I've discussed, I would try to keep it as a short-term trade. I'm not saying like a couple days or a week, but I wouldn't place trades for more than a month on these names. So I'm not saying even buy the names. Watch the tape and make a decision on your own. If the action looks like it's pointing upwards, then maybe take a dip, but also be cognizant of the overall market. We have a new strain of COVID that's spreading like you know, wildfire. So there's a couple of things to take into effect before you start buying these names. Okay. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you guys drank some Fairlife milk. I've been drinking it. My liver's been doing pretty good, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
I just want the money, 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 money.